right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise unto our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four winds of the earth that believe wholeheartedly in the true doctrine that is being pushed throughout the four winds of the earth, who are in hope of mercy and salvation in these last seconds of Esau Edom's rule on the planet Earth. All right, we're just gonna jump right into this. This is buzzing right now. A new executive order that DJT passed April 28th, 2025, which was yesterday. And we just gonna solely focus on this, through the spirit, because I literally read it all. It's not a hard read. It's not hard to understand. All right, and what this is, in my opinion, all right, this is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai showing us Ezekiel, the 21st chapter of the sword being sharpened. All right, and I'm gonna read through this pretty quick, and then we're gonna go right to the scripture. All right, we here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We not in the time of the Beatitudes. You know what I'm saying? That's not the time we living in. Matter of fact, let me start there in Ecclesiastes. All right. Go to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. All right. In verse 1. It says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." All right. So, within reality, all right, there is a time and place for everything. This is what the scriptures is saying. All right. Most people don't even know that the scriptures say this. All right. There is a time and season for every purpose under the heaven. All right. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to be cast, and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. All right? Which profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which the Most High have given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. All right, so you should get the point. Us that's already in the know, all right, in hopes that the Lord is going to show us mercy by us keeping the patience, the word of his patience. We know what time it is. All right. The Bible has all the answers. Okay. And this is our duty as the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, is to marry society or societal events to what the Bible says. Okay. Now, from there, let's go back to this article. Okay. Now, according to what we just read in the Bible, there's a time and a place for every purpose under heaven. Okay? And I just read it to you. If you don't, go back and read it yourself. All right? For those of you who are new. But let's get into this. All right? This is a new executive order signed by DJT, strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. Okay? Criminals, you can replace that with Israelites. All right? That's what you can replace that with based upon what's written in this. All right? And let's read. It says, by the authority vested in me as the president of the Constitution, as the president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1, purpose and policy for this executive order. Safe communities rely on the backbone and heroism of a tough and well-equipped police force. My administration is steadfastly committed to empowering state and local law enforcement to firmly police dangerous criminal behavior and protect innocent citizens. All right? This is targeted at the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American communities throughout Babylon. Make no mistake about it, because it's your neighborhoods, all right, who are riddled with gangs, okay? Criminals, okay? Even though not all of them, of course we know that, but this is him putting it on paper before he reacts and makes it start enforcing, okay? It says, when local leaders demonize law enforcement and impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressively enforcing the law impossible, they are, listen, man, we are here, all right? It says, crime thrives and innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. And all you got to do is go back to a couple years ago. Even now, you still are having the smash and grabs. All right. Now you niggas try that now. You do these street takeovers. You do all this shit you be doing. Everybody that's there gonna be considered a criminal. All right. And you will be aggressively apprehended by this executive order that's been put in place by DJT. All right. Again, it says crime thrives. And innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. And they got all the evidence from the social media, the different, and the main ones that they show committing those smash and grabs, running up in stores, taking everything and running out are our people, okay? It says, my administration will therefore establish best practices at the state and local level for cities to unleash high-impact local police forces, protect and defend law enforcement officers wrongfully accused and abused by state or local officials, meaning they're going to have all immunity, like DJT was saying. He's been saying he's going to give law enforcement immunity. So they're going to be able to handle business, all right, like this was NAZI, Germany. Okay, this is what this is. Let's read on. It says, and surge resources to officers in need. So officers who are in trouble because they may have used excessive force, may have choked somebody to death. All right, this executive order is going to help them. All right, it says, my administration will work to ensure that law enforcement officers across America focus on ending crime, not pursuing harmful, illegal race and sex-based equity policies. All right. So they ain't the policies. Basically, what he's saying is, I'm overriding all the local and state policies of their bullshit, and I'm giving them full immunity. Okay. It says the result will be a law-abiding society in which tenacious law enforcement officers protect the innocent. Violations of law are not tolerated, and American communities are safely enjoyed by all their citizens again. They finna lock this down, all right? They finna lock this bitch down, man, all right? And they gonna dare you niggas to get out of line, okay? Section 2, all right? It says legal defense law enforcement officers, meaning lawyers, to help these officers that's going to be out here going upside the heads of the people. But let's read. It says the Attorney General shall take all appropriate action to create a mechanism to provide legal resources and indemnification to law enforcement officers who unjustly incur expenses and liabilities for actions taken during the performance of their official duties to enforce the law. Okay? This is the green light. All right? This mechanism shall include the use of private sector pro bono assistance for such law enforcement officers. Section 3. Empowering state and local law enforcement. The Attorney General and other appropriate heads of the executive departments and agencies shall take all appropriate action to maximize the use of federal resources to 1. Provide new best practices to state and local law enforcement to aggressively police communities against all crimes. 2. Expand access and improve the quality of training available to state and local law enforcement. 3. Increase pay and benefits for law enforcement officers. Okay? They're going to be able to take care of their families and live while the rest of us, the rest of the people out here, are going to resort to the crime. All right? See, this executive order came right on time. See, these devils are very calculated. We see the ports are empty. All right? We see that this executive order went into place. So if there's nothing moving, pretty soon the crime is going to start to skyrocket. All right? 4. It says strengthen and expand legal protections for law enforcement officers. Okay? 5. Seek enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. Enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. So if you get to fighting with the police because they do some unlawful shit, because they geeked up, because they got this immunity and green light, guess what? They gonna throw the book at you. All right? And you might wind your ass up in El Salvador. Okay? 6. Promote investment in the security and capacity of prisons. All right? Why? Because they getting ready to fill more, send everybody to these prisons. It ain't gonna just be for criminals, you know, that's there. They finna start sending everybody. All right? These protests that are taking place, they're only gonna get worse and worse and worse because there's gonna be no jobs, there's gonna be no food, no product coming in. All right? The protests are gonna get worse and worse, and I believe right here in California. This is my personal, California may be the jump off, man. All right? Just based upon what I've been seeing. Okay? Not only the ports are empty, but California is the hotbed right now for this foul FLU. All right? If you understand what I'm saying. All right? Matter of fact, I'll just show you real quick. Okay. Experts issue terrifying warning to America. Prepare for new, you see that word, pandemonic shit, now as new Osiris spreads to all 50 states. Right? Now look at this. California. All right? It's a hotbed for that. You know what? All right? Again, California. And I believe those are the human cases. California. Ports are empty. All right? You just had 50,000 LA County city workers out protesting. And you're going to have more protests. All right? But all this is getting ready to hit simultaneously. Let's go back. I don't want to get thrown off from this because I want to go through this. All right, 7. It says increase the investment in and collection, distribution, and uniformity of crime data across jurisdictions. B. This is same part of 7, but this is B of it. It says within 60 days. So within 60 days of April 28th, May 28th, June 28th. All right. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General shall review all ongoing federal consent decrees, out of court agreements, and post-judgment orders to which a state or local law enforcement agency is a party, and modify, rescind, or move to conclude such measures that unduly impede the performance of law enforcement functions. So if you have officers who are on suspension, being investigated, all that's going to be thrown out. This is what this executive order is doing. Okay? Section 4. Now this is the juice, some more juice of it. All right? Using national security assets for law and order. Within 90 days, May 28th, June 28th, July 28th. Okay? Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security and the heads of agencies as appropriate, shall increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. Why do they need to assist state and local law enforcement 90 days from this order? What do they know that's getting ready to happen? They know that the crime is getting ready to go through the roof. They know that the protesters are going to be out there. They know that the people are going to put up resistance of these this suffering that DJT is bringing upon the citizens due to those tariffs. All right? They steps ahead of you people. All right? And through the Spirit, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has us steps ahead of them. All right? We've been seeing the play, and we've been warning of this exact thing coming down the pipe. All right? We've been warning, and it's here. Okay? It says within 90 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, which they're going to bring out them new weapons, them crowd control weapons. That's what that means. Non-lethal capabilities, the microwave weapons to disperse crowd weapons. All right? We are here. Okay? It says, in personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. Okay? It's over with. All right? They're going to use robots. All this is getting ready to be rolled out to police you. All right? But they're putting it on paper, and they're giving it 2 months and then 3 months. All right? Because they know within this 2 months and 3 months, there's about to be a surge of crime, a surge of everything you can think of because of the lack of bread and great tribulation, as it says in 2 Esdras, the 15th chapter. Okay? 5. Holding state and local officials accountable, the Attorney General shall pursue necessary legal remedies and enforcement measures to enforce the rights of Americans impacted by crime, and shall prioritize prosecution of any applicable violations of federal criminal law with respect to state and local jurisdiction whose officials willfully and unlawfully, talking about those who ain't down with what Trump is doing, basically, all right, or down with what DJT is doing. Okay, this is who this one is for. So if you got these people out there at the hands off and all this, and these are all senators and people that are in place for law and politics. If you're not down with what the DJT is talking about, you will be apprehended and arrested. All right? It says, again, jurisdictions whose officials willfully and unlawfully direct the obstruction of criminal law, including by directly and unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement officers from carrying out duties necessary for public safety and law enforcement, or unlawfully engage in discrimination or civil rights violations under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's over. Okay? It's over. All of them safety laws that you thought you had, they're done. Okay? It says initiatives that restrict law enforcement activity or endanger citizens. Okay? Section 6. Use of Homeland Security Task Forces. The Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall utilize the Homeland Security Task Forces formed in accordance with Executive Order 14159 of January 20th, 2025, protecting the American people against invasion. What is that? That's what you call the sieges. Okay? They're going to shut off borders. They're going to shut off state lines. Hell, even city lines. This is what this is, man. Okay? Protecting the American people against invasion. The invasion already took place. Okay? That took place these past 5 years while the borders was wide open. All right? Now they finna lock you here. Okay? To coordinate and advance the objectives of this order. They're giving you what they're getting ready to do. They telling you. All right? They telling you. And this is a real order. Okay? Where we at? What website is this? Whitehouse.gov. Okay? It's not a game. We here, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel 21. Okay? Ezekiel 21 and 8. It says again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord. Say, a sword is sharpened, and also is furbished. What's the sword of the Lord? What did King David call the sword of the Lord? Let's get it real quick. All right. In the book of Psalms 17, Psalm 17. It's over with. Yep. Psalm 17 and 13, it says, Arise, O Lord, disappoint him. All right. Cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. This is the wicked right here. This is the work of the wicked. All right. Which is the sword of the Lord. All right. Getting ready to come crashing down on the Lord's people. Okay. It says, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord. Say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. And you see, he furbishing up the law enforcement. All right, so that they can aggressively enforce the law. Okay? 10, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Everything we just read. All right? This is what this you line it up right here with these scriptures we read in Ezekiel 21. All right, the sword of the Lord are these Edomites, and you Jakes, you better get it in order, man, and repent. Okay. Again, it says it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? Knowing that this is this is law now, right? This executive order to, what does it say? Strengthening and unleashing. All right, and that's the spirit. I'll be saying the Lord finna let this devil off the leash. All right, It says strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. All right? That's what it says, man. Should we then make mirth? Absolutely not. You're supposed to be getting yourself in order. All right? Preparing for everything that's getting ready to hit. You know, I saw a video. I may do a video on it. But you had a bunch of Edomites in the woods. In this ministry, which is led by a woman. Motherfuckers in there getting baptized in the pond, in the lake. I'm talking about thousands of Edomites. You know what I'm saying? That show you we at the end. These Edomites don't really believe in the Most High, man. All right, and they believe in JC. All right, and they were all Idumeans. Okay. So again, verse 10, it says, it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. And he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. All right. Cry and howl, son of man. For it shall be upon my people. Who are the Lord's people? Them same criminals that they label us as on that executive order. All right? The Lord's people are the Israelites. And you have been the face of everything bad and wicked. All right? So you're the criminal that they're talking about in that executive order. Make no mistakes about it, man. All right? This is Jacob's trouble about to commence. Full swing. 60 days after this order. All right. They're going to be able, 90 days after this order, they're going to be able to put the military out there and assist the local law enforcement. All right. It's going to be a hot summer, man. All right. It says, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel, all you little niggas out there. And you know niggas like to be outside in the summer. A lot of niggas' heads finna get cracked. Police heads finna get cracked. Shit about to go down, man. Okay? It says, it shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon the thigh, because it is a trial. And what if the sword contemn Salakia, even the rod? It shall be no more, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let me read some more. It says, thou therefore, son of man, prophesy and smite thine hands together, and let the sword be doubled the third time. The sword of the slain, it is the sword of the great men that are slain, which entereth in their privy chambers. I have set the point of the sword against all their gates. All right? That their heart may faint, meaning their leaders. All right? The Lord gonna go after all y'all so-called leaders first. All right? And that's what Esau finna do. Okay, that their heart may faint and their ruins be multiplied. Ah, it is made bright. It is wrapped up for the slaughter. All right, and that's what's getting ready to happen. And we see it real time right here on an executive order. All right, worded to make it American citizen friendly. Okay, so that's all I wanted to get into, man. All right, just wanted to bring that out, that information. And of course, marry it with the scriptures. And there's many other scriptures. And, you know, I quoted 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. We in that time. We not in the time of the Beatitudes. All right, with that, giving all praise unto Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. And we on to the next video. Shalom.